Mercedes-Benz CLS53 AMG. The Mercedes-AMG CLS53 is going to be the hottest CLS for the time being, with the 63 designation being reserved for the new AMG GTS, the GT63S, excuse me, their new fastback coupe, four-door coupe that brings in some AMG GT design and engineering into the CLS platform. So this car is pretty interesting in and of itself. You know, it can be really hard to do first drive reviews on some of these Mercedes vehicles because there's a lot to learn and there's a lot to really know that you can't really learn in a couple minutes from a crib sheet. But luckily I've gotten to spend some time with Mercedes-Benz team members this trip and I've learned some really cool stuff about the CLS53. And in addition to getting some extended design analysis time and shockingly with a 4.1 to 4.3 second 0 to 60 time, I'm a big fan. But so the car is extremely rapid, but it marks a couple big changes for Mercedes with this new CLS, which is a brand new redesign that is the design is really, well, yeah, so let's talk about the design and then we'll talk about some of the technology that makes this car so fast and unique, and then we'll talk about how it really does on the twisty roads. So first things first, the design. So this is one of those designs in this latest generation of Mercedes that in the pre-sale renderings and in in computer generated photography, it's very, very, it looks very formless, it looks very, very shapeless, and it's really hard to be charmed by some of the looks. But you see them in person and that formlessness really is not accurate. Like it's a simplicity in the surfacing that is new for Mercedes, but it is certainly very, very sexy and very appealing. It places the focus more on proportions and on the overall, the key design elements versus going with some big like body slashes as a piece of interest. So the design of the CLS53, and the CLS in general, really warms up in person. It's very, very sexy with this new nose and obviously an evolution of this. One of the original four-door coupe designs is very nice. We've got the exhaust in sport mode. This vehicle comes with some really nice goodies, including the optional AMG Sports exhaust for this example, yeah. So the design is a big winner in person, as much as it is not a winner in the system sense that pedestrian crossing. It was blipping the steering wheel. It's pretty cool. So very, very, very charming and sexy in person. So very excited to share that with you. And so next, what kind of technology do you get for the $80,000 base price of this CLS53 AMG? Well, there's some pretty revolutionary stuff going on underneath here. So I gotta find out which way. Right. Okay. So first off, this is one of the first production vehicles of all time that you have 48 volt electrical system. So moving from a 12 volt system to a 48 volt system is required in order to have enough power to run an electronic compressor. So this vehicle runs what's called an EQ boost. So let's do a launch start here. Oh, the brakes feel amazing. I mean, this is a true AMG vehicle. 429 horsepower from this 3-liter Inline Six. Boost is at max, power's at max. Torque is at nearly 400. So there's a lot of really cool stuff going on here. First off, it's a return to Inline Sixes for Mercedes-Benz for the first time in about 25 years. Since 1995, they have been all V6s. So returning to an Inline Six was required for this addition of what's called the EQ Boost, which is an electronic compressor supplement. So in addition to a twin-scroll turbocharger, this electronic, this super fast motor, think of it like basically a Dyson blower, but hooked up to the system to provide additional boost. It basically is so energy intensive that it needs a ton of power to run, because otherwise the turbo boost would just be coming back out the other way of the fan, even as it was spinning as fast as a 12 volt ever could. So, you know, they really needed, they needed to go to the 48-volt system in order to make that happen. And Audi has been teasing this for a couple of years. BMW has been trying it on some race cars, and it's really been a race to get it into production. So Mercedes is branding that EQ Boost, which of course speaks and references their upcoming EQC, which is their launch full electric vehicle in their Tesla Onslaught. So they call it EQ Boost, those birds, and it's pretty effective, I have to tell you. So you can't really hear it. I mean, what you're mostly hearing is an Inline Six exhaust engine and induction note, but you can kind of hear it. It's a little more high pitched. You can sort of hear like it's a little bit of a high pitched whirring, and it's cool. It really works, and it's really made this 3-liter Inline Six into a rocket ship. Basically, it's so fast. So the electric compressor. It acts as basically, it's sort of like a semi-supercharger, semi-turbocharger, because it is electric. But the big advantage is that it doesn't run off exhaust gas or drain off the crankshaft. So it doesn't have any mechanical draw like a supercharger or an exhaust gas dependency like a turbocharger. So the great thing is you could basically just turn it on. So it's instantaneous. It's like instant on power. It's a way to get some of the benefits of an electric vehicle essentially into a full internal combustion engine system. I mean, this is not a partial hybrid at all. It's just it runs the 48-volt electric so that it can turn left, turn right. It stops at turn left on the highway. So it's very cool, and how effective it is, and of course having an Inline Six versus in an AMG versus their traditional V8 bread and butter is great for a lot of reasons. I mean, it's lighter, and it helps with packaging for crash and for the formatting system, which is standard on here. So it's very rear biased. You'll never really be perturbed by it. And you can certainly break the tail loose if that's what you're aiming for. But yeah, so CLS53, it's an AMG. It's really different. I mean, Mercedes-AMG is evolving really nicely into beyond just their sort of dropping a V8 in. I mean, this is a full performance optimized machine in a lot of ways that aren't V8 dependent. So it's nice to see that. And it's nice to see the EQ initiative picking up steam, gaining some boost, as it were. And the car is really pretty fucking sweet. So what transmission is in here? So it's a 9-speed TCT, which does not stand for twin clutch transmission. It stands for torque converter transmission, but it's sport optimized and intended as, you know, a very sporty alternative to a DCT. And it works. So the other great things about this updated CLS, this redesign, is that it has this amazing. You know, the cabins are always amazing, these Mercedes, but they are evolving pretty quickly, generally speaking, faster than the exterior designs, certainly. And this cabin is stunningly luxurious. This example, of course, is the Designo package, which, you know, is a pricey special option to get special leathers. But some of the classic AMG stuff, like the dynamic side bolsters, you know, that as you turn right, beefs up the left one. You know, that stuff is intact, and as are like the amazingly adjustable and comfortable seating. But versus like the C63, one of the greatest parts of the CLS is just the sense of scale and the sense of width. I mean, this car really feels. It doesn't feel quite as big as an S-Class, but it's big. It feels bigger than the E-Class, and it's got a lot of the latest S-Class and AMG GT design elements baked right in. So it's a pretty dreamy car. I'm a big fan, and I was excited to show you guys how cool this new 48-volt electrical system and the reintroduction of inline sixes lighter than any big AMG CLS ever before, and you know, as much as the 63 designated engine is dreamy as F, it is heavier and less future-proof than this system. So very, very awesome machine, and hope you guys enjoyed the drive. See you next time.